Hello, my name is Sav, the owner of Sav's Grill, West African Cuisine. You're here at my restaurant and you're watching Call It How You See It TV.
It's Kelly Ufe, and you're now watching Call It How You See It. Thank you for tuning in Call It How You See It TV. It's your host, Kelly Ufe. Today we have our special guest. He owns his own African restaurant, his own ice cream store. He is the #1 right here in Lexington, Kentucky. Today we have our special guest. His name is Sav. Did I say your name right?
Yes, you did. My name is Sav's Grill. I'm the owner of Sav's Grill and West African Cuisine, and the owner of Sav's Chill, the ice cream place. And if you want to add it, I have a Sav's Piment also. That's my hot sauce I bought on myself, and the salad dressing we call Sav's vinaigrette.
Such an interesting name. So you actually owned your own African store. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Guinea, West Africa. I've been here about 25 years.
What made you to create your own African store?
African restaurant. Well, as we all are immigrants, when it came to this country, there's always a dream. So I had a dream that one day I will own my own restaurant because yep.
So who actually taught you how to cook?
As you know, originally from Africa yourself, that's cooking is not men's domain back in Africa. But I learned how to cook from my sister, who I brought here with me back in '97 when I went to visit Guinea, and she moved with us to help us with our son, and plus my mom. So I learned from my mom and my sister.
Wow. So how long have you been actually owning your own African store?
This is 2018. September will be 10 years.
So what do you actually look for employees when they want to work here in your company?
As I have experience working here for Hyatt Regency and UPS for 7.5 years. And I have to leave Hyatt and stay UPS for 15 years. You know, when you're working for the corporations, it's just like you are just a number. So there were a lot of frustration over that. There, knowing you are not appreciated, you never been appreciated, you are just a number. That actually motivated me more because it was a point where, in the morning I'm ready to go to work. I was like, I just don't want to be there today. Because, not appreciating and nothing. So having that experience, and the day God gave me a chance to open this place, Sav's Grill, which, by the way, I didn't leave UPS right away. I worked a year and a half to doing both to see how this restaurant goes. And I swear to myself, I say, you know what, the experience I had from my previous employers, I will never, ever try to treat anybody or look down to anyone. So my policy here is, if you came to work for me, you are part of my family because this is family-owned business. And if you are willing to do that, well, then you are welcome in my company.
Well, speaking of non-appreciation, how do you feel when you have African people that come into your restaurant and they try your food and they're like, this is not African food? Like, this is not how you make African food. How does it feel when you have that experience? Because remember, you on Call It How You See TV, the best TV show ever.
Well, As you know, traditionally, restaurant is not our culture. You know, 99.9% families in Africa, they make their own food. Therefore, I wouldn't take that personal when somebody came and tried to say, oh, this is not like authentic African food, which, by the way, it is. It's just you have to try to accommodate it to, the standard, for Americans, because most of my customers are Americans, not Africans. Time to time, I get Africans, especially when they're traveling through Lexington or they're visiting. They look, Google, and they see Sav's Grill West African cuisine. So time to time, I see some Africans coming here, but mostly my customers are Americans or Indians or Chinese, or you call it, because I'm near the university. Therefore, honestly, when you own a business, don't take anything personal, or you're not going to succeed.
That is true. So now you own your own ice cream.
Right.
What actually made you decide to do that?
Well, that's funny because when I opened Sav's Grill, September 2008, 2008, there were some equipment for me to buy. Right. It was available here. So that was one of the freezer. And then I said, okay, if I buy this freezer, where can I get the source, the ice cream? And one of my friends told me about this guy from Winchester Valentine's Ice Cream. So I contacted the guy, and so right here, I was carrying ice cream, but only 8 flavors for a while. But mainly, when people come in, their focus is on the food, so they don't pay attention on the ice cream. So it was one day I was sitting after lunch rush, and I was sitting up there and just looking outside. Right across the street where Sav's Chill is, there is a lady who tried to open a hot dog place, but unfortunately she closed after 3 months, not even 3 months. So one day I was sitting there and just keep looking at that corner, keep looking. And I started talking to myself, just those instincts, it's like, man, I say, what can work there? And then I go into my other thought, and then my mind go back to that corner. So I was just thinking, talking to myself, and then I was like, oh, ice cream. I said, wow. So the first person I called was Scott, the Valentine ice cream. I said, Scott, how many flavor can you make? How many flavor ice cream can you make? And he said, well, I can make as many as you want. I said, okay. I said, I just had this crazy idea. I will get back to you. And then I called my family. I was like, what do you all think about that corner to open an ice cream place? And everybody's like, wow, that's a good idea. And that's how the whole idea starts.
Interesting. So you are the number one here in Lexington, if you don't know that. You are the only one that has actually opened an African store, and it's still standing, you guys. He is still standing here, right here in Lexington. So how do you feel about that?
It's great. It's a good feeling to be, when people look online, Google or, Yelp or stuff, African restaurant, I'm the one who's going to pop out. It's a privilege, and I'm glad I had a chance to be the first one to open an African restaurant. Honestly, I don't take that slightly. And as I always tell people, this is our house. This is, the whole African continent. So if my name is out there, Sav's Grill, but, anybody is welcome here. And it's really a privilege for me to be the first one to open the restaurant.
Speaking on family, let's get into your family aspects. I see sometimes your wife comes in and help you out in your restaurant. How does it actually feel when your wife come and help you out? And you also have kids as well. Is she a motivation?
Well, I learned a lot from her. Rachel, she have her own business. She make a jewelry. This is Savane Silver. She's in the corner of Limestone, Broadway and Short Street. I learned a lot from her on business aspect because you have to learn from somebody, even though we have a different type of business. So she's been in business for 21 years. The day you came last Saturday, it was a little exceptional. We have this huge conference going on at the University of Kentucky, so I do need help. My son, who's been working with me, he's 23 now. He's been working with me since he was 14. He was just busy that day, so he was not here, and I called my wife to come help me. So, at the beginning when I opened the restaurant, yes, everybody was involved, but she have her own business also. But when she's not there and I need help here, which is not all the time, she step in and help me. So I learn as we know from here, you have to learn from somebody how, this work and this work financially or, business starting point. But when it came down to cooking or stuff, that's me. I learned from my family. I never run business. I never run a restaurant in my life until I opened here in 2008. So, I still asking questions if I need some, legal stuff or any advice. It's always discussed in my family, which my son, 23, and I have two daughters also, who time to time they came help me here. So last weekend, Friday, my daughter, my youngest one who's 17, came to help me, and Saturday my wife came help me.
Having such a huge family, what's the spice in you and your wife's relationship? Because you guys have been married for so long, right?
Yep. This June 29 will be 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Kelly, life, to me, it is about compromise. No one is perfect. We all are human. I'm talking to you here, but I'm not perfect. You are not. Nobody is. So when you're in a relationship with somebody, you just have to accept that compromise. If I do something wrong, the hardest thing is some people will do something wrong and they refuse to recognize, which is not a good way to go, with your relationship. So I believe meeting her, first of all, she was in Africa, in my country, as a Peace Corps volunteer, and we met throughout a friend and moved to this country. Didn't have anything, but our communication started very, very early, and we still having that, and which is, I think, that's a secret of our marriage.
Speaking about challenges, when you also have like an upset customer that come into your store, how do you actually go on with your day?
As I was saying earlier, when you're in front of the public, you try your best to please everyone, but usually that's not possible. But thanks God, at least 99.9% of customers are happy. There are 1%, time to time, it's not every day, but time to time you will get somebody who maybe having gone through a hard day or hard time and came to your place, wanna take, put that, one take that at you, you know what I mean? And it's like, you just have to manage how to try to calm the person down. If they order something they don't like it, just say, I'm sorry about that. What else can I offer to you to make you happy? Because, you have to be careful when you're in front of the public. One person cannot ruin your business, but can affect your business if they go out of your place and start anybody that they're having conversation who's saying bad thing about your place. It's not a good thing. But thanks God, as you know, as Africans, when it came down to hospitality, we are the best. Therefore, we know how to deal with people. And I will do everything to not upset my customers, because if I'm in business, thanks to those customers. Therefore, if one or two time to time came and they're not happy, or for whatever reason that day they're not happy, we'll try to to help them or give them maybe a credit or gift certificate to say, no, please come back, and then we'll take care of you next time if it doesn't work. I'm not here all the time. I have employees, and you were talking about Africans. Sometimes there will be some Africans come here in the evening, which most of the time I'm not here, and they try to talk to my employees because they're Americans and say like, oh, so what do you know about cooking African food? And it's like we don't cook. Our boss cook. We're just here to serve customers. So you just have to know how to balance life. Never take anything personal.
Did you guys hear that, guys? He actually cooks. His employees don't cook. So exactly, do you have any upcoming projects coming up? Like, are you planning to open your own? What all are you trying to open?
Well, I get that comment here every time people come. If they're visiting Lexington, it's like, oh my gosh, this food is so good. Can you open here? Can you open here? Can you? Kelly, I'm already busy man. Having restaurant, having ice cream place. I'm trying to, promote my vinaigrettes and piment hot sauce. I started making this since 2012. So my hands is full.
Okay.
Having the second location or third location, honestly, when I thought about it, it's tough to make that decision because my presence here, some people come here just to see me. Therefore, if I have 1, 2, 3 places, I can be in those places at the same time. But being in business for 10 years this year, thanks God, and so far everything going okay. I'm hoping maybe one day, my business is franchisable. Hopefully somebody's observing me up there and then say, man, you've been in business for 10 years. How about if we think about franchising? In that case, I'm willing and would love to do it because all I have to do at their new location, I will go there for a week or two, train them how to do the way I do, and then move on. So I'm ready for that. But if it's just me, buddy, I'm not ready to expand. It's just risky.
Speaking of your spices here, where can we actually find this? Do you have a website, or do we have to come to your African restaurant?
I do have first you can find at Sav's Grill here, or you go to savsgrill.com. You can order online, and then 10 out of 12 liquor barn, you can find this hot sauce. I just started making this late last year, the vinaigrette, and they're a good food co-op on South Lawn Drive. They carry both my business, both my product. I have a Lucky's. It's a grocery store on South Broadway. Actually, those guys carry my ice cream, half pints. They carry my hot sauce. They carry my vinaigrette. So those places you can find it or order online. And I'm hoping that one day, hopefully, I will be, working with some big retail companies like Cisco or U.S. Food to carry my product because they're really, it's a family recipe and it's very good. Okay, that's it. Yes. Well, I just want to say, thank you very much also, Kelly. And, I know you work very hard for yourself, and you try to put something up there. And all I can say, honestly, just keep up the good job. Life, it's like that. We all have a dream. But making like that little extra step, it's a very threatening thing. Yes. But, if you have something and you believe in yourself and you believe in the bottom of your heart, it will take a time, but it will happen. And so I thank you very much also to make an effort to come and talk to me. I appreciate it.
And thank you also for having me to actually get the chance to interview you. To stay updated with Kali How You See It, like, subscribe, or click the link below.